welcome back into another episode of Indiebnb. Today we are joined by members of the band October Wind from down in Florida. We got Bobby, Caleb, Tim, and Aaron. Guys, how we doing? How's the weather holding up?
Doing all right.
Weather's not so great.
Weather's not so great. That's all right. That's all right. Well, the music's great, and that's what's important. So,
Thank you.
well, we want to dive in here, and I want to start with we sometimes start with the name. A lot of times we start with the kind of the origins of the band. So I want to ask that first for you guys, where did all this start, and how do we get here today?
Well, if you want to know where it really started, back in middle school, we were told that if we joined band, we didn't have to be in gym. And that's kind of where it first started. But since then, we've all been friends and all been playing music.
Wow, that's early. You guys didn't want to play any dodgeball. What was so bad about gym class?
The coach.
Yeah, the coach.
What's his name?
We can... Oh, we don't want to bring up his name. But he said, if you want to be a band nerd, you can get out of gym. And we raised our hands and we're like, yep, we're out of gym. See ya.
Sign us up.
Peace.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, so you guys developed this passion for music, kind of, going through middle school, and like what kind of, obviously being in a marching band versus being in a rock band, a little bit different. I mean, what was the original instrument everybody played? If y'all can go around and tell me that.
Man, I played a trumpet.
I played bass drums.
I played the snare drum.
I picked up on bass guitar.
I love it. I love it. So we had a trumpet player. We had a couple of drummers and the bass guitar. I mean, do y'all ever break out the old band instruments in any gigs y'all do now? Or?
This fool gets down on some drums every now and then.
Yeah, every now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, so we start this band. Where did we get the October Wind project? So you guys have obviously grown up together, it sounds like. So when did we officially kind of stamp it? All right, we're October Wind. What's going? Hear us roar.
That was about what, 3 or 4 years ago when me and you went and got the
Yeah, we me and Timmy actually let's go back a little bit. Everybody's kind of grew up, we split our different ways family wise. We all kind of played music on our own a little bit. And you just grow up. You not necessarily meaning to grow apart, but kind of do. Everybody takes a different life path. A few of them went to the military, a few of them moved out of town, just different things. And then after a little while, we kind of got back together as friends and we're like, man, we should jam some more. We should keep playing. And we did it on and off. Till our bass guitarist over there, Timmy, one day, I didn't have a drum kit, kind of hard to fit one in a house. And he said, well, I'll buy a new bass guitar if you buy a new drum set. And I was like, well, shoot. And I called his bluff. He didn't think I would. So I bought a new drum set. I bought a Child's electric drum set, which is what you're hearing on all the recordings. And it was the cheapest one to get and get us started. And then we started jamming again. And then these guys kind of came back into the fold with us. We were like, hey, let's keep jamming. Let's keep doing it. And I'd say it really happened after Hurricane Michael. Yeah. We had this moment of like, we got devastated here. The area looked like a bomb went off, and you really kind of reset your thoughts on life and priorities and say, hey, we got one shot to just enjoy this and make it happen. So let's get back. Let's play music. Let's not give up.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, has the area, have you guys fully recovered, or, is it one of those where it won't really ever recover fully? I lived through Katrina down in Louisiana, so I'm familiar with kind of the way things go after those storms.
Everything's about as recovered as it can be. It's going to take a long time to get all of our trees back. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're doing pretty good.
There's still some houses with blue tarps on the roofs.
I got you.
6 years.
Well, I mean, those are those kind of moments. That's interesting. Like y'all come back together and you're like, you know what, we gotta start recording and writing. So, did that kind of immediately spawn going into a recording studio, or did y'all continue to jam for a little bit? Maybe play some live gigs. What kind of what's the timeline look like there?
Really, after we started playing again, we jammed for a long time. Really.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we come play in Bobby's kitchen for months and months and months. And finally we're like, man, we got to record some of this. and put it out there.
And then
And
next week he comes home with a CD recorder.
Yeah. I feel like that's the story of a lot of musicians. You know, you kind of just you keep playing and jamming, but you're not putting anything out there. You might occasionally put something on, you know, Facebook, Instagram, something like YouTube, but a lot of people die without their music being heard. And we were like, man, let's just get out there. Let's see what happens. Let's just push it. Let's try. You know.
Yeah. What's been the most surprising thing as you guys have released music that you've learned either from like corners of the world that are streaming your music, or you know what's been the most surprising thing as you guys have put things out?
Or was it Hungary that we
Yeah,
had?
Hungary.
Yeah,
and
Hungary's been-
Iceland.
Yeah.
Hungary and Budapest, Iceland. Yeah.
Yeah, but the struggle of actually recording and putting in the time is just as much of a challenge and strain as making music. That I mean, to really say I'm going to do it means that
Yeah.
you've got to start doing it.
Yeah. Well, let's
At
dive
least
into
that's
some
my
of them. Yeah. I mean, let's dive into some of the you know, some of the tunes you guys have put out. You know, when I listen to both Catch Me If You Can and Flipping Coins, I want to, we'll focus on Catch Me, y'all's latest one, Catch Me If You Can. Like, to me, I just picture myself, I'm in a car and I'm on a highway and I'm driving. Like you know, all of it has been, you know, really good driving music. So is that like intentional? Is that something that's just like, you know, it's just that it just happened, or, you know, what kind of, you know, has transitioned that, and where'd y'all kind of find the sound that you guys have made?
I think a lot of it's influence. Then I remember when we were figuring out "Catch Me If You Can," playing it, and me and Bobby were kind of playing on the riff and the drums, and then Caleb's like, "I lost my mind." A long time. And then man, it went from there, and we kind of threw it out and got it going.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know, with lyric wise, do y'all, I mean, do y'all start in your process when you're creating something like, I mean, do you just start with a riff for the most part, or is it, you know, for this song in particular did, or like what's kind of the general process for you guys when you're creating music?
It's a little of both. Sometimes I'll write some lyrics on my own and bring them to the table, or Aaron writes a guitar part, or Timmy writes a guitar part because he does that. Yeah, it varies from song to song, but we just like to play music that feels good and is fun to play.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about creating songs too, something that we've had to work hard with each other, and it's still difficult, is being open enough to say, hey, I've got something, I want to bring it to the table, and everybody hearing it out, regardless if you like it or not, and giving their honest feedback, because sometimes it takes a lot to say, hey, I've got this thing that's in here and I want to share it with you guys and see where it's going to go. So we're all pretty open about it and really contribute our own parts.
Yeah. So the songwriting mainly done, I mean, everybody's contributing in that form of capacity. I mean, you know, bringing their own parts. I've seen it in other bands, you know, it can be, you know, varying from, you know, one guy writes everything and then the other people just kind of put their spin on it, or, you know, so you guys are all bringing together, hey, we got an idea, let's riff on this and go from there.
Just
A lot
kinda
of it's
jam on it
spontaneous.
for an hour at a time, and then see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, like, what's the, you know, yeah, I'll say jam, and like again, I've never made music, so I know that you just play. Is it playing like continuously for, you know, minutes at a time, or like what's the, you know, how do you know when the jam starts, and how do you know when the jam finishes, and how are you picking out parts in there?
Usually a lot of yelling at each other. Well,
I like that. I like that. Do that again.
yeah, keep that up. Hand signals. And you know, 5 minutes into what was supposed to be a 2-minute song, you start finding something new, and then it turns into a techno dirty deeds by ACDC, which happened recently. So it's just every time's a little bit different. Sometimes it starts with the words, sometimes it starts with the music, and we're just jamming until something fits and feels right. And usually once we get, if that foothold just happens, I mean, you're the first listener, right? As a musician, you're hearing it at first. And then when that's happening and coming through, you're like, oh, okay, I like that. And then somebody else says, I like that. And then they throw in their different parts. And I think we all like fairly different music. So we all put our own thumbprint on it. By the time we're done, we're like, yep, that's ours.
I love it. Now with recording, like, do y'all record? Are we recording all together, like live, or are y'all recording like separate parts and then kind of splicing them? Like, what's that process look like for y'all today?
Yeah, so I'd say 90% of our recordings are live recordings. What you hear is at least 3 of the 4 of us jamming in one go. Sometimes the take isn't great and we'll retake the whole take. But we noticed that, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but capturing the energy of us playing together is something's there that's not there when we track separately. We do occasionally go back and we'll retrack certain takes or things like that, or overdub something, but most of the time what you're hearing is a pretty clear rendition of the whole group.
That's awesome. Now, like, did y'all's, obviously your backgrounds in, traditional music, band, like marching band, things like that. Do y'all have like that kind of like music theory part of what y'all do as well? Or is it more, a little bit more, kind of off the rip a little bit?
It was off the
Very-
rip.
I don't know about
Very
these
small
guys.
amount of theory. Yeah.
I don't read music at all.
Yeah, we joined because we didn't want to be in gym class.
Yeah, we weren't necessarily good at trumpet or
Anything I learned is long since been forgotten.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, since you guys are tracking live, I mean, like we love talking about live sets and talking about, what it's like to come to, see you guys play, for you guys, like, what do you want the crowd to, walk away with? Somebody like me who I've never been, I've not seen October Wind play live, but, what is it, what do you want them walking away with after a show from you guys?
Want them to walk away feeling good and bopping along, just having it stuck in their head.
Yeah, this was fun to
Man,
watch
that
and
was
fun to listen
fun.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
having fun, that sums it up. Everybody's, if you come away and you've had a good time.
So do y'all, like, since y'all have already, y'all played live, you've recorded the tracks live, like, does that make it easier to transition into a live set and like just be able to, obviously no show will be the same, but, does that make it easier than if you guys were to just kind of layer it on together and splice it together?
I think so. Like,
Yeah.
we've always, like, even back when we played in middle school, it was playing together that mattered the most.
What what are some of the best venues you guys have played so far, in the time you guys have been a band?
I think one of our favorite places to play, and it's been a while. We're kind of starting to get back out there now doing live stuff. But in the past, we played Harry A's. We played in St. George Island, some of the coastal areas. We're kind of out here in the middle of nowhere, but around us, not far away, it's Tallahassee. There's the coast areas. We're not far from Alabama and Georgia. So really,
Panama City.
yeah, Panama City. There's not a lot local. We've just recently, in the past year or so, had a few coming up, and we'll probably be at a few local breweries and things like that. But really, it's just traveling around, seeing things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously you guys are going, some of those coastal cities, like what, like, does that affect like y'all's writing and like kind of inspire you guys in some ways, like when you're doing that travel, for the gigs?
More the gig itself for me. We get there, see how the energy's going. Like, man, I'm really enjoying this. And
Yeah.
then something will pop up. I'm like, man, I got to save that for later. And then kind of get it back here and do something with it.
Yeah, I think probably day-to-day influences are what influence our songwriting the most too. It makes any sense. I mean, we all have normal jobs and normal lives and families, and sometimes I think that shines through a lot, even without meaning to, in what we write and how we jam. Because sometimes that means 4 hours on a Friday night where we're pushing midnight before we get out of here, and that's 4 hours after being dead tired all day at work. And what comes out. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think like, a lot of there's, I talked to different musicians and, the folks that are, you have you're kind of the people who are the weekend warrior people who, they have the 9 to 5 and they do, still have the energy and the juice to come in and be able to put on a live show for somebody. And I mean, I think that, is as impressive to me as, the folks that are, on tour and that's all they're doing. Right. Like, I think there's, definitely a something to be said about just, you worked all week and you got to come back and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm doing this thing that I love and I'm passionate about. And I want to make sure that I, bring it all the energy I can for, the people who came out to see me. Does that, like, whenever you guys are planning your tours, like obviously, like you mentioned, like lives and everything, like, does that, kind of play a factor in what gigs y'all do and which ones you can do?
Oh yeah,
For sure.
yeah. If we're scheduling anything, I mean, we can get away with pushing some boundaries with work, but it doesn't pay the bills yet. So it's one of those things we've all got to consider what we're doing, what's going on throughout the week. I think you had Courtney Kelly on, and she kind of talked about the dynamics with having a family and trying to still pursue some a semblance of what you feel is music, you know, and that's difficult. It's very hard for many people. I think there's a lot of people out there doing it, and I think every time we get together, we consider how that affects not only us but our families.
Yeah. Do y'all have the families involved? I mean, are we, for everybody getting, we intertwining some of the newer, the other, maybe some extended bandmates and interview, getting those people involved in some of the music?
Man, not yet.
Yeah.
My kids are taking interest in music a little bit at this point. My little girl's looking at the guitar like it's something she might want to pick up.
I love that. I love that. Well, I mean, I'm glad you guys have a good boundary and a base there to to work off of. Kind of getting back to the live set for you guys with the, creating a set list, there's an art to that. Like, what's y'all's, philosophy there and trying to, create those, create that perfect, segment of music.
It's hard to say. Like, kind of like to have a flow. Like, you don't want to start off too strong or, I don't know, too weak. Either way, it's a real fine balance to get it to flow just right from song to song.
Who's are y'all all coming to kind of contributing there? Is something that y'all are predetermined? Like if y'all are going on a weekend set where you go, 2 to 3 different places, are y'all like, hey, like we're gonna play this, these 8, but just depending on the order, or like what's that look like?
So we've got set lists already kind of roughed out, and those are kind of beating your head against the wall sometimes. I think I put most of that on the singer, Caleb. I'm like, hey, create the set list, make the set list, and then we'll complain about it and see what needs to be changed.
Play through it.
Yeah.
Adjust.
And sometimes we take into consideration, we take tempo, we talk about dynamics, we talk about the build up and things like that. And sometimes we cut songs. Sometimes we cut songs when we're playing. We're like, oh, okay, just not feeling that when it's not grooving.
Get her out of there.
Yeah, but I mean, really, just working through it all while we're on stage is the best way to say what works and what doesn't. Sometimes you pull things. And then we have different sets. We have sets where it's like, hey, this is kind of a softer go. This is the three sets for one night. And then we have what we call the Red Ronda set, which is
Bangers.
is just all bangers, one after another. We've got maybe a 30, 45-minute slot, and that's what we're pulling out.
Yeah.
Be wore out.
Yeah.
Get done with it.
The Red Ronda set. I mean, what are we doing? Mostly originals on that, or is it a mix of covers and originals? Do y'all do any covers at all?
Yeah, we do a lot of covers. I think that one's a
Yeah.
good mix of covers and originals.
Covers and
I
originals.
think it's most of our originals that are at least ironed out all the way, but then we got some good covers in there too.
I like it. Well, like, I mean, do y'all mainly when y'all go in, and it's not like, if you mentioned Courtney Kelly, she always is saying, like, I asked her, like, do you ever throw in a couple of originals? She's mainly doing events and corporate events. So but y'all are mainly originals with a few just slotted in there.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
I think that's about right. Yeah. And if it influences us or inspires us, sometimes we'll just cover it. Even if it's not their version of the cover, we have a lot of our own that are. You'll know the lyrics, you might know the song, but you might not know what we're playing when we start it.
Yeah. What are there any in particular covers that y'all are y'all have played and you're like, you know what, we got to retire that one? It's it's been played out, it's done.
Bunch of them.
So many over the years. So many.
Hotel California got retired pretty quick.
Yeah.
Living in the South, there's a lot of there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of country music down here, a lot of country music fans. So trying to play what is rock music to a country crowd when you yourself can't help but to inherit country is kind of it's tough sometimes. And we got to play songs, especially when we're playing to get paid. It's you play what they want to hear.
Yeah,
you know what
you're
I mean?
an entertainer.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for.
That's interesting. I mean, Hotel California, I think I'm trying to think if I've seen bands, like if that one's a popular one I've seen covered. I mean, obviously you got your regular ones down here in the South. You got a lot of Skinner, I'm sure you cover, and that's like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that gets that one at least a little bit more rock and roll. I mean, I'm sure you get some of those country songs that just lot of
Never
twang
played
and
with
not a lot of
somebody
bang.
That long-haired country boy.
Love it. I love it. Well, let's I want to dive in. We'll move off the live music. I want to dive into Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. It's gonna be a bunch of real rapid fire. So I want to give us an order, kind of a batting order for answering the questions here. So we'll go Bobby, Caleb, Tim, Aaron on the question. So I'll go, I'll give you a this or that, and just blurt out your answer first. So Bobby, we'll kick it off with you. Cake or pie?
Ooh. Pie like 3.14.
only sweeter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pie.
Pie. What about you, Caleb? Cake or pie?
Pie.
Pie.
I'm gonna say pie as well.
All right. All right. Wait, we're all on the same page. I love it. All right. Salad or soup?
That's a hard one. Soup.
Yep. Soup.
Salad.
Cereal is a soup, so I'm saying soup.
I love that. That's a good take. I like that. All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you guys seeing more of these days?
Sunset.
Sunrise.
Sunset.
Sunrise.
I love it. All right. All right. We got some early risers in there. That's good. Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Sorts. Home run. That's baseball. Yeah.
Yeah. Home run.
Home run.
Touchdown.
All right. Here we go.
Outline.
Are you guys having more nights in or nights out these days?
Nights out for me.
Definitely nights in.
Nights in.
Nights in all day.
When you do go out and your jam comes on, are you more likely to hit out the robot or the worm on the dance floor?
Oh, the robot.
Yeah, definitely the robot.
The robot.
Back in the day, it was the worm. The robot's a lot more comfortable to do nowadays.
Got to get a little more grease in there to get it a little flowing. I like it.
Get it goofy.
Whenever you guys go out to your favorite Tex-Mex spot, are you guys guacamole folks or queso folks?
Queso.
Queso all day.
Queso.
Queso as well.
All right, we got a lot of cheese. Let's
Those
go.
all three.
Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Ooh, pancakes.
Waffles.
Pancakes.
All right, there we go. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Tea.
Coffee.
All right, there we go. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Cats.
I'm 50-50 on both.
Oh, okay. All right. Ninja or a pirate? What would you rather be?
Pirate.
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 I like it. Gatorade or Powerade? If you got
Oh,
it's hot down there.
Gatorade.
Yeah, Powerade
Yeah.
for me.
Gatorade.
And then Powerade because it's cheaper.
Exactly.
To be real.
Powerade because it's cheaper. That's good. Toast or bagels?
Bagels.
Toast.
Toast.
Mostly toast.
I like it. All right. Chips or pretzels?
Chips.
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 I like pretzels.
There we go. There we go.
It's
Fries
also
or
left-handed.
Fries or tots?
I don't know. Probably tots.
I gotta go fries.
Tots.
Fries.
All right, we're 50-50 there. TV show or movie after a long day of work?
TV show.
Yep, TV show.
Movie.
TV show.
All right. Are aliens real?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah.
What about Bigfoot?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, we're all in on
Stay
Bigfoot.
tuned. We have a song coming up about this too.
Oh,
It's coming out soon, probably within the next 2.
all right. I love it. I love it. What about Love at First Sight? Is that real?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah. No, I'd say yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Say yeah.
All right. All right. And
Love at First
one from each of you here. Who's a band that we ought to check out that we might not know?
Mm.
Dreadfoot.
Dreadfoot. There's
Dread
Dread
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Red Buffalo.
but
Definitely check out
that-
Dread Buffalo.
Yeah, that's still in yours.
Who's the one that you guys went to see there in Campbellton?
Oh yeah, Dylan Kelly is a good one, and
Hayward.
Hayward. That's what I was looking for.
Hayward.
Hayward. All right. So I got Dreaded Buffalo, Dylan Kelly, Hayward. Going once, going twice. Anything else? Anyone else? All right, we're sold there. I like it. Dreaded Buffalo, Dylan Kelly, and Haywood. We'll take it. Well, that was the last question. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. October win, you guys crushed it, of course. We appreciate you guys, coming on with us. And you mentioned some things coming up. So talk to the audience here. Like what's coming up in y'all's world? You mentioned a Bigfoot single of some kind coming out here soon. Like what's going on there?
It's a little bit of everything, not just Bigfoot. I actually don't know if Bigfoot specifically mentioned, but it covers a wide range of conspiracies and strange things. It's called the Spire Song, and it will be out probably in the next 2 months because we're releasing about one at a time right now, one a month.
Give or take some time.
Yeah, depending on our schedules.
I love it. Well, everyone needs to go stream. Catch Me If You Can. I'm also a big fan of Flipping Coins. We didn't mention that one as much today, but it's a great driving music. And check out October Wind coming to a coastal town near you in Georgia. So guys, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Thank y'all.